Top 5. Guys, let me just say, with all the videos that I am recording, I think I need to get my bottle of wine to actually come and sit like right here beside me, because the tea is, say it with me, massive. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here today, please make sure to smash that subscribe button, and for all my returning subscribers, welcome to another video by your ultimate fave, who's ultimately looking cute, if I may say so myself. Now, if you want to know the details of this wig, I have released this video probably prior to this one. It is a review on Her Majesty. I'll probably leave the link up here. You guys can go and check it out, and make sure to purchase, because I'm looking good, I'm feeling good. But besides the fact that I look like $1,000,000, let's talk about why I actually am here today with you guys. Because Real Housewives of Durban has given me the tea that I didn't expect. Azishe geshisa guya shisa edubane, guys. I think I've been doing 2-3 TV recaps, and for every single TV recap I needed to fill up my glass of wine because I was in that much shock. I was in so much shock. Judging by the title of the video, you guys can already see that this TV recap is literally focused on the one episode of The Real Housewives of Durban. I don't know what episode number it is. It must be 6, 7, I'm not entirely sure. 4, 5, I don't know, but it's the time where London took them on a safari, okay? And that episode, yo I'm even getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Anyway, for anybody who's new to TV recaps, if you haven't checked out my first TV recap and my second TV recap of The Real Housewives of Durban, please make sure to check out those videos prior to this one, because if you don't, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, and you don't want to do that. As well as not having an idea of who the characters are, because this video is not essentially to explain the character breakdown, but it's more so to let you guys in on the tea and how I feel about the last episode, which blew my mind. This is my mind. Anyway guys, now for anybody who has no idea what happened in that particular episode, now this is the episode where they went on a kind of safari trip, which was hosted by London. London decided to basically take the ladies out to this boutique hotel, I think it's called Nambiti, and kind of take them on a safari for a few days out of town. Now here's the first problem that I identified with that particular setup and that episode, is that London's first mistake, and honestly she lost brownie points here for me by booking Nambiti and not being able to get everybody there at the actual hotel. I was like, I'm pretty sure the production must have caused this riffraff, because how is it that you're going to book but only manage to book for about 2-3 ladies at that particular hotel and have the ladies stay at another hotel which is an hour away? Like that's ridiculous. Like that makes no sense to me. I don't understand how as a production team everybody even let that happen. I think production stirred the pot and actually must have done that, because it doesn't make any sense to me. First things first, if you look at the very obvious, first of all, how long ago did you make that booking? You couldn't have made it like a week prior, because everybody who's there is a housewife, including you who has a young child, so you must have made it prior. Meaning that if you made it prior, you obviously didn't take into consideration that other people, you didn't care enough to book other people in that place, which would lead me to believe that you're not a nice person. So I'm not going to believe that you're not a nice person. So what I don't understand is, if you had booked that place weeks prior, how does it happen that they only give you 2-3 rooms and then they give the other rooms to the other ladies? There was no way you booked that last minute. People there are moms. No one is going to be comfortable doing that, not even for a reality TV show. I don't think that makes sense. But hypothetically, let's say that is what happened. Not cool. Everybody should have went to the lion's den or wherever, lion's nest, lions, wherever. It's something with a lion in it. If that were to happen, London, you should have taken every other lady that was there, and you guys should have went to lion's nest or wherever that place is. I'm gonna call it lion's nest. Why didn't you do that? That for me was so uncool. It was so uncalled for. I would have been super pissed. I would have thrown my toys out the carts. So maybe it does I'm trying to shoot a TV recap here, God. Could you give me a second, please, child? No, you won't? Okay, cool. Now that God is done disrupting us, where was I? London. I definitely feel like that indiscrepancy was intentional from you, and it's definitely gotten me like dropping you on the list of faves, losing brownie points, because you obviously knew that by doing that, the friction that it was going to cause in the group of women, and especially letting Sorisha and Tobile stay at the hotel as opposed to letting the other three ladies who have been there for longer stay there. It was a little bit weird to me. Something about London, I don't think she thought this through, and whether or not she did, her first option should have never been to separate the women. It was unfair, it was uncalled for, it was uncool, it was unjust. It just felt like you deliberately wanted to stir up the pot. And if that were the case, I'm really not impressed. Like I'm really not even impressed in the fact that that couldn't have been the case, but you didn't think that potentially that would have been the outcome, because it was going to be. Because I would have also asked, why can't I stay at Nambiti? Why wasn't I given the option? Why didn't you call everybody on the phone and let us know at the same time so we could all decide whom it would be best for? And if that were the case, why didn't you call the other ladies while they were still stuck on the road to let them know that they no longer need to come to Nambiti? They must drive to Lion's Nest, they must put their bags down, take a shower, wear their bathroom clothes, and then drive another hour to Nambiti. No, I'm really sorry, but there was no thinking process here, which is why I'm really convinced that this was a thing that production did to stir up the drama, because there is no woman who would even let that happen without even thinking or being cognizant of how it would make other people feel. It's ridiculous. And why does Sorisha and Tobilia have to get first preference? Why? What makes them different? Yeah, so I was thinking Sorisha can get it. I was like, London went from my absolute favorite to my absolute like, child, if you just want to get with the winning team, just say so. Like, Borex, Forex, and a Rolex. Like, Borex. Boring. Bored. I'm bored. Alright, so that happens when they arrive at the hotel. London tells them that unfortunately they only managed to get 3 rooms. She's already obviously taken one of the rooms, and only 2 other ladies can stay at the hotel, of which then it is decided that Sorisha and Tobile can take the remaining 2 rooms, and that Annie and Jojo would have to go to Lion's Nest with Nongu, with Mabusi and Lasi. So initially that rubbed me up the wrong way, but I was like, that's fine, it happens. Let's say it's circumstantial. There's nothing that can be done. Cool. Now, the next issue arises when the ladies find out. So now, here's another thing that kind of bothered me about this episode. Now, Sorisha here, I am so sorry, honey, boo-boo child. You are wrong for so many reasons. And you know what? I expected better from you, because you're the richest one. So why are you doing these things? Hey, the problem is you don't think. Hey. Now the next issue that arises is when the other ladies, so that being Lassie and Nonku and Mabusi, finding out that Annie, Jojo, Tobile and Sorisha had taken a flight, a private jet. Now I'm on the fence about this one. You know, I'm on the fence because first things first, it is not Sorisha's responsibility to be telling grown women that I'm taking a private jet and have to choose everybody to go with. Like, if Sorisha decides that she has a closer relationship with the other females, like why does that bother you so much? Like, if she has a closer relationship and wants to take those other people in a private jet, you guys can't come here and demand to be upset. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You're being unfair. You're being so uncalled for, and for dating, I would take another private jet and leave you guys again to prove to you guys that I can. I'm rich. It's my money. Of which I agree with Mr. Sorisha. I'm gonna call him Mr. Sorisha because I forgot what his name was. Sorry. Which is why I agree with him that, you know what, you're not gonna impress everybody, and people are always gonna have something to say. It was completely and utterly unfair for Nonku and Mabusi and Lassie to have expected Sorisha to report like she's a child. According to who? To you. To you. No. Especially not you, Nonku. I'm so sorry, my babes. You need to also understand that, Nonku, you also ruined Sorisha's party by being drunk, girl. And like, you kind of get drunk quite a bit. Allegedly, according to the other ladies, you get drunk and then you become a hassle. So if the other women don't want to be around you for that reason, or therefore, you have one of two options. You can either stop drinking, well, not stop drinking completely, but like stop drinking to obviously get buzzed, or leave them alone, drink and keep at your own space. But to have expected them to report to you, that's ridiculous. You're too grown for what you're doing. But now on the flip side of things, now you see this, I'm on the fence. On the flip side of it all, I also understand why Nonku, Lassie and Mabusi are pissed off. Because Sorisha, babes, sweetie, you're on a reality show, okay? And by taking people on a private jet and realizing that obviously Viv, his name was Vivian Reddy, there. Knowing that Viv couldn't get the private jet that obviously could house all the other ladies, you and Tobile sat down and picked, you guys thumb-sucked who you wanted to take, and you came up with that thing. You may have told Tobile at the dinner when Mseleku was involved, but you picked who you wanted to take. Because if you wanted to take Nonku or Lassie or Mabusi, you would have asked them to come with, Sorisha. No, don't say no, it was a thing of Sorisha, babe, sweetie, Hans, you're boring me. Like, you're boring me a lot, and I had so much faith in you, but you're boring me now. My sweetie, boo honey pie. Don't lie on a public platform, because you forget what you said 2 days ago to Toby. You were like, I don't know who to pick. I want to pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. You picked those people. You knowingly and consciously picked those people. You texted them, you asked them if they wanted to go on a jet, they said yes, you sent them the time frames, you told them to go to Lanseria Airport or Rand Airport or wherever the private jets park, and you took them. So to sit there and lie at the dinner and to say, yeah, but it wasn't. Pull me again, my penna. I really expected a lot better from Sorisha. Yes, I understand that she was put in a tight position, a predicament where she didn't feel she needed to explain herself, granted. But also in the same time, you need to do things with your chest, ma'am. If you didn't want them on the private jet, if you felt like, yes, I got a smaller private jet, so I picked the people that I wanted to be with, say it with your chest. Damn, nigga. I'm all for Sorisha being the peacemaker, but this time she was shady AF. She didn't even feel the need to tell the other ladies, hey guys, Viv got me a jet this big. Or even just tell one person, tell Lassie. You don't have to tell Nonku, tell Lassie. And tell Lassie to communicate to Nonku and Mabuto, hey, listen guys, Viv only got me a jet this big. And I'm really sorry, but I had decided to take the other ladies with me, whatever. But if you guys can make a plan on your end, whatever the case may be, because that thing catching them off guard was not cool. I'm really sorry, guys. You guys can fault me all for this, but Sorisha was wrong. She was wrong. She was right and she was wrong. But the wrong aspect of it is from, it's like, it's the precedent of it. You knew how far away that place was. Other women have been driving for like, what, 7-8 hours? You went and took a jet that you knew would be easier. And then you went and took the other ladies and didn't even feel the need to just let the other ladies know that, hey guys, I'm gonna take a jet just in case. Just in case I'm not gonna take a jet for all of you. I can't afford to take it. Or Viv didn't find one. That's it. I don't know, guys. I'm on the fence about this one. I understand Nonku's reasoning, but I also understand that Nonku also needs to understand that you're not a child, Nonku. I don't have to report to you. I'm a grown woman. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever I want with my husband's money without your permission or your knowledge. But from the precipice and the precedence and the precipitation, I know that's water, but everything is just pressa. I understand why Nonku's upset. Because if Nonku and them had the option of taking a jet as well, they would have considered it. But they didn't, because they assumed that everybody else was taking cars. But also, Nonku, you took cars with 2 other ladies. Like, you probably didn't even want to be in the same car as them, but we're assuming they probably may have wanted to. It's fine. Now, we've gotten the airplane jet one out the way. Now, the second one was about the fact that Lassie, Nonku, and Mabusi were talking shit about Sorisha and Tobile. I really have a big issue with Nonku talking over everyone, and I am guilty of doing this at times where when I have an idea of what I think someone's going to say, I interject them, either to agree with them, disagree with them, put my point across. And as much as I acknowledge that, it's not right. You need to let people say their piece and get it over and done with. Now, throughout the series, Nonku has always wanted to talk. Nonku, my love, Kautule, like just once. Like, it's not your show, Nonku, and unfortunately Nonku hasn't been my favorite. Yes, I've felt some sort of, you know, compassion towards her. Do I feel like, yes, they make her the target, granted, whatever, but Nonku wants to talk over everyone and she wants her voice to be heard, and when it's not heard, it's an argument. And unfortunately for you, I don't want to hear about your conversation with Fiso anymore. God. Guys, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, but I Kautule. And the thing is now, Nonku's like, yeah, no, it's not like I wanted to be in the jet. I'm not jealous, but I just feel like, which is granted. But if it didn't come from you, I think it is because you went on and on and on and on. And Jojo even tried to step in and like explain that, Nonku, it's not even that kind of party. Nonku's like, yeah, but you're not letting me finish. But Nonku, everybody's always listening to you, my vibes. I really care for you, and I just think for once, Kautule, like, let other people have an opportunity. I know that you're obviously one of the main characters in the show, love it for you, love watching you, but sometimes I think you really need to pipe down. Like, other women should also have a say. You definitely interjected Jojo. You definitely wanted to talk over everyone. You definitely played the victim stance when Jojo tried to interject and defend Sorisha, which I think was a valid thing because Annie kept quiet. I'm actually gonna get to Annie because Annie but Nonku, what you did wasn't grand, my babes, and like, it doesn't take a grown person to even tell you that what you did was wrong. So you were wrong, and finally but not least, like, you were wrong. That's it. Anyway, where was I? I was coming for the hands. Nonku, Annie. Oh, I was saying I'm gonna come for Annie. Annie cha. Now this episode, it took you and it dragged you apart. But like, I'm not too impressed with it dragging you apart because, you know, like, I was on your team. Like, but also you embarrassed us as a team. So come in your team anymore, girl. But like, I'm not on your team. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Nonku, wrong. And now let's talk about the fact that Tobile overheard the lady saying bad things about Sorisha. Do I think Tobile is the type to lie? Absolutely not. Do I think Tobile would even take the gall, the nerve, and the bladder to say that they were saying bad things about her on national TV, knowing we would see it? I don't think Tobile would lie. I think Tobile was definitely telling the truth, and when she said it on camera, Mabusi, Lakongo, and Nonku, they were definitely caught off guard. And I know who was nervous about it. Lassie. Ask me why. Because it was probably Lassie that was probably chatting the most shit. That's why I was like, no, qualified. I was like, Lassie, we have you guys on camera talking about it. So of course you guys are probably saying shit off camera, and now you're teka-teking, and now you want Tobile to be the one to say it so you guys can all deny it and say whatever you were saying, probably because your mics were off. Why must she qualify it? If you said something, say it with your chest. And now I'm starting to see Lassie's a bit of a flip-flopper. Like, no, not a flip-flopper. I'm saying Lassie, and I'm saying it with my chest. And uyangimangaza because bekanesibindi to stand up for Ayanda, but you didn't have the sibindi to be honest about what Thobile heard. Why would Thobile wake up and decide to spread lies about you guys? Why? Based off of what? And I also, let's see, I'm gonna need you to pipe down on talking about Thobile, please. Thobile doesn't even talk about you as much as you talk about her. Like your whole storyline now is based around Thobile. And the irony in that is that you say don't talk about Ayanda when she's not here, but all you ever do is talk about Thobile when she's not there. Here's the Thobile Selegu is just minding her business, wearing her bonnet, going to dinner with her friends and living her life. Whether or not she wants to be friends with the other squad, which we would call other, versus being friends with you guys or Zulu or black women. Agafuni because you are kaka. So why is that such a big deal? And I'm starting to see it's almost like Lassie was expecting Thobile to basically say, oh, I'm sorry, I do remember you and I'm your biggest fan and I'm this and I'm this and I'm this. And when Thobile was like, actually, I really don't, I'm sorry, that was not my intention. Lassie couldn't let it go. And I'm like, Lassie, is it that big of a deal? Is it that big of a deal? Does it matter that much to you that Thobile must acknowledge you? You guys are on the same show. What difference does it make? Why do you need to be validated so much by someone who is not your friend? Because and like on a serious note, like you were definitely coming off with the humble, good energy, but what you're doing to Thobile, I can't stand and I won't stand for. It's definitely putting me off you and your character as a whole. But that's fine, that's good, that's whatever, because you're probably upset about the fact that she didn't obviously acknowledge you. But she didn't acknowledge you, but she said sorry. So yeah. Yo, what in the charades is forcing you to keep talking about it like every single time like this? Like what in the TV series? It is a TV series. What in... I'm not gonna say that anymore because it's disproving like what I'm trying to say. I feel like Lassie definitely tried to make Thobile like her punching bag in terms of from like a bully perspective. You felt some type of way, you addressed Thobile. Thobile told you that it wasn't intentional. I felt like I didn't know who you were. I wasn't doing it on purpose. You should have let it go. You should have either decided to accept her statement or let it go. Because what you're not going to do is hold her hostage just because she doesn't want to remember something that you evidently remember. It is what it is. If that's her word, then move away from her. Don't be friends with her, but don't hold her hostage like she's some child or like she's forced to be at your mercy. Like, who do you think you are? I'm sorry, like, I don't know who you think you are, but like, anyway, whatever, ciao. Then I find the evening happened. The next morning, Mabusi and Nakongo continue to talk about Thobile. They continue to talk about Thobile. They continue to make Thobile the topic of the conversation. Mabusi, I like her because Mabusi is very like cool, calm, collected. But do I think that she was involved in the snickering of the other women? Of course I do. And which the irony in all of that, I think Mabusi has let it go with Nonku. She hasn't forgiven Nonku completely, but she's let it go. But to kind of snicker, I guess, I don't think Mabusi was the one who was running the snickering. I don't know, I could be wrong. But I don't think Mabusi was at the forefront of the snickering. I definitely think it was Lassie and Nonku, and Mabusi was just there giving her 2 cents or just there in the midst of it because they felt like the outcasts. But I don't think Mabusi is the type to sit and snicker. Mabusi has always given me a very straightforward stand-up approach, and nothing has changed in that element for me. I'm still team Mabusi, still love how she dresses. That's still my girl, that's my bitch. I can't call someone's mom a bitch. Okay, gotcha. That is my girl. Mabusi is still on my favorites. She is still my favorite. She's a stand-up woman and I love that for her. Love that about her. But I could have been wrong at the lunch. Now let's go to the safari. Now the next day they go to the safari. Jojo's going through a lot. Now we could see that obviously Jojo was feeling really sad about the fact that she left her husband, who had just came out of ICU, who had like some sort of a heart attack or like some sort of heart condition. And for Annie, Annie, you're not a good hand. Been trying to tell you this. For Annie to snicker and make a comment at the breakfast table about, yeah, but, because I know Nonku said something. Nonku was like, yeah, but she's supposed to let it go and what, and then Annie chimed in. And I'm like, isn't Jojo your friend? Didn't Jojo come with you to go learn your stupid Zulu lessons when you were like, ndifuna a diamond ring? And it's a ndanda, toye diamond. I was so pissed off. I was like, Annie, I have so much to say about you right now, but this episode did me a solid when it put you on the firing line. I ain't even finna cap, bro. Like, it doesn't mean I like you any less, but I really didn't like the fact that you were engaging in anything that has to do with Jojo, because Jojo's your friend. Jojo has been there for you. Jojo's been in your team. Jojo's been on your side. Jojo has literally been your friend. So for you to not even get up and go ask her what was wrong, why is it that, what's her name? Lolly London and, was it Lakongo? I think it was. They had to go and check on Jojo. You were sitting there, you're snickering with Nonku, the person that was fighting with Jojo the night before. And that makes you a good friend. Girl. Cap. C-A-P. Cap. Mara yak baba. Mara, every dog has its day. And today it's a Tuesday, but it's actually a Wednesday for me. But that day for you came very quickly in this episode. Nonku was being Nonku as per usual. Nonku was pissed off thinking that Jojo's performing because of yesterday, didn't let things go, whatever the case may be, whatever, because Jojo didn't want to toast. And Jojo's reasoning was very valid. And if anybody had cared enough to ask her what was wrong, you would have found out that it has absolutely nothing to do with you guys. Nothing! I love you, Jojo. Annie, umborile but letsatsi la o le fitlile. Jojo goes through what she goes through. She calls her husband and obviously she tells her husband what happened. The husband is just like, no baby, you know. The husband sounds like a very supportive husband and I love that for her. I think Jojo is definitely deserving of that kind of energy, you know what I mean? She gives me very, very good vibes, and the reason I say that is because even when she spoke about Nonku, she was like, Nonku, there's an element of her that I like. And for Nonku to kind of come at Jojo like that, I don't think it was intentional, but just because Jojo didn't say I like Nonku, but for her to experience that side of Nonku, I can understand why, you know. I'm very team Jojo right now. Fine, now it's the day for the games. Yo. Hi, Londi. No, Mara Londi, you're a bit spicy. Hey, my vibes. No, Londi, no, tell the truth. You're a spicy quesadilla, aren't you? Spicy quesadilla, you know? Londi London decides to host another kind of sit-down gin tasting, but like, I think that gin tasting was the day before where Jojo was actually having kind of like a really off day. The next day was kind of like a brunchy, because I saw champagne. They were eating, and then Londi London came up with this thing to play a game. Let's play a game. Have you guys watched Truth or Dare? Let's play a game. Oh, I hated it so much. My ex used to plague me with it. He would do this, and you knew that that face wouldn't let me sleep. Oh my god, he was such a terror. Anyway, Londi London says that she asked the ladies to have sent them questions previously to them coming on this trip. She decides to read them. Now before we get to the lunch, what's Nonku, Lassie and Mabusi doing? They're shading Londi London on her dress sense, study Gucci. Now here's the tricky part for me. I'm not sure who shaded Londi. Initially, I heard Nonku mentioning it, but if I'm not mistaken, I also heard Mabusi mentioning it. And I was like, not you. Not you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that Mabusi is the same Bati Infeni Pegana Infen or whatever the case may be, but we're taking 20 high bone. Oh, got so to about 20 high bone. I get a 20 high bone. Mabusi, weren't you rocking Gucci to Gucci to Gucci head to toe last season? Don't lie, don't cap. I've got the receipts. I had to make sure I got the receipts before I did this video. Haibo, not you, Mabusi. I was like, oh, no. Mabusi said something about her wearing Gucci head to toe. And then Nonku said something in the diary sections about her wearing it head to toe makes her look cheap. I don't care, but they were all engaging in it. And I was like, what's that I smell? It's called jealousy. It's called jealousy. I see. It's jealous, it's so effed up because Londi London is the youngest, the prettiest, the newest, you know. I just felt like them saying that was the irony in it, because Nonku, weren't you wearing that ugly two-piece Versace two-piece that I saw at paintballing? Wasn't that you? Not you. Anybody but you, mama. Anybody but you, Miss Mamas. Like, anybody but you. The Nonku, the irony in it was her saying it looks cheap, and I was like, that Versace two-piece looked like something you bought go to Nusa Mall. But at the end of the day, it could have been real. It didn't look real to me. It could have been real, potentially could have been real, but the point is, you're the last person. You are the last. Let's go fast. Nonku, I forgave you too quickly. I compassionated too quickly. Cause you're that Nonku that I thought you were. You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, sharp, sure, I can have problem. But honache weekends. And I know I'm going to drag everybody for filth. So they did that, and then they got to the table, and guess who outed it? Jojo. Was it Jojo? Slow clap. I was like, that's my girl. Yeah, but keep it, bonke, but keep it. Out them, Jojo, because that's what they enjoy doing. They want to shaba, but then when it's time to actually face the music, they don't want to do it. And it's like, you guys are too old. Then why do you shaba? And like, the thing is, this has been consistent with Nonku from season, what season we on? 2? Season 1. It's been so consistent to a point where it's like, you're too old for what you're doing, and you're too old for what you're doing, even if it's for reality TV. If you feel some type of way, say it to my face so that you don't seem like an unreliable hun, you know? So Jojo outed them, and Londi was like, oh, word. Oh yeah. and Londi played it cool, which I love about her. That's why she lost brownie points, but she's still #1. And dang it, because Londi came straight to Nonku on some, you drink a lot, get drunk. What she said in the diary is exactly what she said to Nonku's face. Now Nonku, if you can't say shit to my face but you can say it in a diary session, then I definitely don't value anything you have to say to me. And then Londi London decides to take up the game. Yo. Now this is the moment of truth or of terror. Okay, I think Annie had it tough in this game, so tough. So Londi London decides to play this game where basically people have written down questions to ask people in the group. It's all anonymous. Everybody just gets to ask the question underneath the mat. Londi London starts first, and Londi London says something along the lines of, is your ass real, or are your clothes real, or something real? And she was like, it's all real, honey. You know, very easy, very mild. And then it basically jumps to the other woman. But anyway, let me just say what I remember. So Risha, they asked her about skin lightening. First of all, whoever asked her that, I'm so bored, because it's like, you know why people lighten their skin. You know that it all boils down to an insecurity or feeling like you are not society's standard of pretty, aka Kanye Mbao has spoken about it, aka Mshoza has spoken about it. So why did you feel the need to alienate Sorisha about it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Sorisha doesn't have to explain it, but she's never hidden it, and that's the one thing that I respect about Sorisha. She took it like water off a duck's back. She's spoken about it, she has products on it, she has a business off of it, and it is what it is, honey. Right. The next person, Tobile. You see, now this one I agree with Tobile. That was mad disrespectful. Someone was like, have you slept with someone during your marriage with Msele or something like that? I think. Yeah, during your marriage. with Mselu? Have you slept with anybody else? And because Thobile is a new character, I did feel like that was so invasive. That was so disrespectful. Considering, and I'll tell you why I say that. Thobile has another show that is called Uthando Nesithembu, which is focusing on her marriage with Mseleku. And what I'd like to believe is that if Thobile had slept with another man, it would have been out in the tabloids by now. But also, it was trying to insinuate that she would even remotely think of cheating on her husband, which is so fucked up. Because why has nobody asked you guys if you've thought of cheating on your husbands? Huh? Huh? Limborile. Oh, also, I don't know who asked, but I know something about Mabusi asking whether things are real or fake. I don't know if Mabusi had asked Blondie London if her clothes are real or are they fake or whatever. Oh yeah, it was Mabusi. I think it was Mabusi. Let me not say that. Someone asked Blondie London if her clothes are all real. Oh no, it was Mabusi. Someone asked Mabusi if her stuff is real. Okay, someone asked Mabusi if her Gucci bags are real. Mabusi, I can't defend you here because I don't know anything about you, honestly. You my girl, you my girl, you know you my girl, but like I don't know if your stuff are real or fake. For the life of me, I don't know anything. So what I'm going to do is go with the assumption that it's real. Because why would Mabusi take the risk of wearing fake clothing on national TV? Already as it is, we've got the fake Gucci community, we've got the fake Louis Vuitton community. Like, don't you think that Mabusi would have ended up on those Instagram pages before she ended up on national TV taking fake stuff to TV? And what about the rest of you? What if all your stuff is fake? You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really fair. Like, I felt like they came for Mabusi unprovoked, unprecedented, uncalled for, unfucking warranted, and everything. No, don't come for my girl. My girl didn't do anything to you. Don't come for her. Got your back, baby. So Mabusi, it was about the fake clothing and everything like that. Let's see, I don't remember what they asked her. Actually, did they ask her anything? Did they? Did they? I don't know. Oh, didn't they ask her if her flowers man was real? Makongo, be honest. She gonna need to get a renter man, cause she's gonna need to get a renter man. Like, honestly, that man isn't real. Like, Jojo, there's something at the door for you. Oh, it's for me. How did that place know where to deliver? Now, I gave you the hypothetical situation of that perhaps you could have just told them where you were and they delivered the flowers, because we probably knew that you were filming that day. But don't you think it's ironic? Don't you think it's a little bit too convenient? Don't you think it's a little bit too coincidental? Yeah, because I don't believe in coincidences. All I'm saying is, it could have potentially been true if your acting was better. Like, if the roses and the flowers came and you went like, who was that? Jojo, someone's at the door. I don't know. I ain't trying to sound like a hater, but I'm definitely... Now, initially, I was like, let me let that slide, you know? But then it was her comments about, oh yeah, if I had known, I could have asked my man for a private jet. Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Are you gonna say because you thought everybody else was taking a car ride? So if you can take a private jet, why don't you? If your man cares about you, he could have made it happen, which is exactly what Nonku asked in the diary session. So I know for a fact I'm not a hater. Because initially I was like, hey, maybe I'm being a hater. But then why would she say, yeah, I'm a private jet, mara, So your man's let you drive 9, 10, 11 hours. I don't know how far that place was from where you guys are going. He made you drive, let's assume 8, 9, 10 hours in a car, then to borrow your private jet. But he could send flowers to make a statement. Man, let's see, we're grown. You understand that we're grown, right? You understand that we are grown women. Lassie, I'm gonna need you to love yourself at some point or the other. Like, you know, I knew people were saying your house is an Airbnb, and that was just the talk on the timeline on Twitter. But I didn't believe it because I thought maybe, just maybe, you had a little bit of an incentive to buy a house or whatever the case may be. Everyone kept saying it's an Airbnb. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. This one, you sold yourself, and you sold yourself to the lowest bidder. For you to even like enact the flower scene, like you already could see how bad the acting was there. But then for you to make a comment saying, yo, my man is a private jet, I could have asked him. You should have thought of asking him while we're still filming. That would have been the perfect introduction to this man. Why haven't they seen this man? They know nothing about this man. They ask you where you stay. You're being elusive. You're being elusive about where you stay. Didn't you invite Londi London to where you stay? Didn't you invite her to your house to go and train with that other girl who does Herbalife? I know her, Samu. Oh, Samken. You invited her there, and then you guys were training. Was that not your house? Was that not your house? So why can't you tell people where you stay? Now let's move to the last two candidates that were definitely called out, and that is Nonku and Annie. Annie, girl, chat. I was like, child. Now, now somebody in the group anonymously asked Annie if, I think they asked him one of two questions. I think they asked if Dakuru, I don't know what they call him, Annie's current husband, the mayor of Durban, I think. I don't know him. I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about him. I just know that he owns a club in Durban because we saw that from season 1. And she also explained in the episode previously that she was dancing in his club and whatever. And now he's kind of moved from that entertainment space to a more kind of, you know, political space, being the mayor of, I don't know, their town or their province. I'm not entirely sure, guys. You can definitely correct me in the comments. But someone asked, the first question I think was, have you ever dealt with cheating in your relationship, or has Daguru ever cheated, or how sure are you that he hasn't cheated? And it was the first time I saw Annie sweat. I literally looked at Annie and I saw her sweat, and I saw her obviously try to get the very best textbook answer without making her man look bad, without making herself look bad. But she was like, yeah, you know, marriages aren't easy, people go through a lot. And then she took out the textbook answer. She was like, yeah, in marriages they aren't easy, I can't say that we've never experienced. I'm like, it's a simple yes or no question. Yes, he has. Done. Duh. But also I understand why it's not easy to say that. But also her saying that, like, your relationships go through things, and yeah, I take cheating as if he talks to another girl that's cheating. She was definitely tiptoeing around the actual question. And if I were her, I'd do the same. Honestly, I'd do the same. Like, I wouldn't want to say on national TV that my husband has cheated on me multiple times. But then it was the next question that raised eyebrows. Now, the only reason I don't feel bad for Annie in this instance, I do feel bad that obviously she suffered something so tragic, but it's very hard to feel sorry for her because of the things that she said about other women in the squad. Like, remember when I told you guys she's got a condescending energy, and she's like, yeah, well, you wouldn't know, you're not married, in her diary sessions. And I was like, okay. She definitely played this role like we're part of the married squad, we're part of the good squad. She made people feel bad about not being at a wedding. She was like, yeah, but I'm gonna invite people I'm friends with, and da 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 da. And it would be it was the humble pie for me, that I was just like, I don't want this for my girl, but I hope this teaches her a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Because they were like, do you think he would cheat on you again? And then it was, and she was like, I just find this so disrespectful. I'm like, not you, child. Weren't you asking Nonku how she met Sfiso? Weren't you saying Nonku's a cheerleader, or like Nonku's a fan? So if all bets are off, then they off, my babes. I don't know, child. I was always team you because I felt like you, I saw a lot of my character traits in you. Very fearless, say what's on my mind. I'm not going to be bullied, I'm not going to be silenced. But also, there are certain character traits about you in the season that I just couldn't relate to. The condescending tone, the very look down on others, the very I'm married now, so I don't know what you unmarried people are talking about. So when people came at you with the cheating scandal, it wasn't too far-fetched, and you kind of dilly-dallying around the situation, it was kind of like, maybe next time you should have just sat there and ate your food. And the fact that you were laughing when Nonku was getting dragged with the fight with Jojo irritated the crap out of me. So the fact that they came at you, I feel like you should have just sat there and ate your food. And I'm being literal because you guys were sitting at a dinner table where you could have just sat there, drank your wine like this, like this. But no, not Annie, you're doing this. And then it was your turn. And I was just like, from my couch. Sorry, girl. Nah, sorry, nah, you deserve that. You don't deserve that, but the energy you got was definitely very warranted. You deserve that. You know what pissed me off, Annie? It was the laughing while Jojo and Nonku were fighting. Nobody else was laughing. You were laughing. Very childish, very off of you. And then when the tables turned, now it's disrespect. No, child, it's called the game. And you lose. Baby girl, the scores are even. Baby girl, maybe the crook or the guru or the gash, Magasha, I don't know what his name is. I mean, Shao, you couldn't even defend that with you couldn't even defend that with your whole chest. But it is what it is, babes. You know, charge it to the game. You charged other people to the game. Now they gotta charge you to the game. It's just what it is. It's a reality show and people are gonna ask you about your real life, and it's just what it is. And the last person who I think closed off the episode was definitely none other than Nonku the girl herself. When someone asked Nonku why she felt the need to speak to Ayanda or kind of sort out the damages about her daughter in the manner that she did, or when she did, or whatever the case was. I don't remember what the question was, but it was something to do with the damages, right? And they were like, why did you feel the need to raise up this damage issue years later? You could have raised it up back then, but oh yes, I'm right. You could have raised it up back then, but you raised it up now. Why? When you were in the same room as Ayanda, right? And that was the most valid question in that anonymous group of games that I had ever heard. It was beautiful. It was clean. It was good. Then she went on, you see, this is the thing about Nonku where I understand why other women are kind of sort of fed up. She went on and started at the beginning. No! Answer the question! Answer the question! Answer what people are asking you. They were like, why did you decide to raise up the damages issues with Ayanda like 11 years later? Why did you not do it when the child was born? So she was like, no. She was with Sfiso. They broke up and then Sfiso got married to Ayanda again. Then Sfiso got married to Ayanda while they had broken up, and then she didn't want Sfiso to see the child for about a period of years, and a lot of it had to do with her very abusive ex-husband, which is something that I could definitely understand why. Makes sense, like it's out of the fear of being with someone who will make you feel like, you know what, your life is mine type of thing. So I understand that part. And then obviously when her and the husband kind of sort of separated, or after a certain period of time, Sfiso, I don't know if it was Sfiso or her who reached out to obviously start creating that line of communication, and then Sfiso, unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace, he passed, and it just kind of, the situation just kind of became really intense. That but not enough. And then she went as far as to say this. Yeah, and as Sfiso said he wanted to leave Ayanda for me, he actually wanted to be with me. I actually vomited in my mouth. I really vomited in my mouth, because there is no way you're gullible enough to believe that. Like, there is no way you are gullible enough to believe that. But also, this is someone whose soul has been laid to rest. And then you're talking about his wife. His wife. Okay? like his wife who is widowed, right? His wife who can't speak up for herself. You're making these accusations. Let me not even call them accusations. These dangerous statements, because they could potentially be true. They could potentially be a lie. Because you know, married men, they lie. Married men have a PhD in creative writing. Married men have a PhD in creative writing. I'm gonna say it again. Married men have a PhD in creative writing. They can make up a story from nothing. But you took that and you put it on national TV, when you know how sensitive the topic is, when you know that the person you're talking about is someone who's deceased, when you know that the other person you're talking about is someone in which you and your mom ridiculed last season, and this person isn't on this current season. It's almost like maitseo ona riwabeya guy. Maitseo. We can't just say nothing. What can maitseo fail? Maitseo ona riwabeya guy. Where do we draw the line on what is reality and what is downright disrespectful? And this is exactly why my very first recap, I was totally against Nonku, because I felt like this is the person that I knew from season 1. And then you came to season 2 with this potential to change, and I believed in it. I really took it in. I allowed myself to see this. And then you went back to season 1 Nonku, and it's like, but you're a mom, Nonku. Your daughter is the person in question who you're talking about. Do you not realize what you're potentially putting your daughter through, or your family, or anybody else for that matter? Do you not realize how many people are implicated in the statements that you make on reality, on television? That was such a dangerous statement to make, whether it be true or not. We can't deny, we can't say Nonku, it isn't her truth. It is possible for a married man to say, I want to leave her for you, but it's also, you of all people should know how much married men lie. Married men will say anything to get you into bed, you know? So it's like, did you really believe that? And if so, why didn't he divorce her a year later, 2 years later? You can't really think that he was bound to her at the hip, like he had no way out. Of course he did. Of course he did. Now ask yourself this: if he had a way out, or whatever the case may be, how is it, like, you know what, I don't even want to get into this because I feel like it's none of my business, but what I'm going to tell you right now, Nonku, is that that has to be the worst and most damaging statement that you've done for every party involved. For Ayanda, for your daughter, for your mom, for your family, for Ayanda's family, for Fiso's family. Like, you just... Yo, Nonku. Nonku! This is exactly why Jojo came at you. It makes sense. Nonku. I'm so pissed off with Nonku. Like, I'm so pissed off. But anyway, I completely respect Latongo for standing up for Ayanda's absence, or seriti sa Ayanda's dignity, to stand up for Ayanda and say she's not here. You can't expect her to stick up for herself when she's not here. But then she's like, yeah, I know, you guys can fuck off. This is my fucking truth. I'm gonna say something I probably shouldn't say on camera. But I've watched enough crime mysteries, crime documentaries, murder series to know that a dead man can't be an alibi. A dead man can't say shit. So anything you say will take you at face value, because the person you're talking about is no longer here. The person can't come and say, she's a liar, Your Honor, so it makes more sense for you to say it and say it's your truth. Because who's gonna pigisa you, bro? Who's gonna pigisa you? The icing on the cake definitely had to be when Latongo, as a friend, tried saying that, listen, don't talk about Ayanda in her absence. Do I think she was recording Nonku? Because apparently that's what everyone is saying on social media. It looks like Latongo's recording for Ayanda. Yeah, I believe that. And I also saw the camera people trying to kind of zoom in on her phone. So we can never be sure if maybe she did record him or not. But the fact that she stood up for Ayanda so vigorously would believe us to maybe she could have did. She could have done it, do it. I don't know, it's my channel, it's my YouTube channel. But I respect like Kongo for actually saying no, no. But then Nonku to say, yeah, fuck, throw chairs down, throw this. Umborile. And honestly, Nonku, I think nothing can justify your actions. No amount of sorries, no amount of sit downs, no amount of dinners and apologies. Like, you deserve jail time. Maybe jail time is a bit too dramatic, but you definitely deserve to be shunned like a leper or something, because you always take it too far. You always take it too far, and it's like, even when we try seeing the good in you, you take it too far. Anongunamborile nungu. Anongunamborile akubakulujo. Angifuni ngacho undibore forex. This is probably the longest and most intense TV recap I've ever done in the history of TV recaps. Like, I was so engrossed in all of these emotions. I actually hated Chow. But anyway, guys, that is exactly how it ended. Nonku was just like, fuck everybody, and then she threw her chair down, and now we're just literally waiting to see what the next episode has to offer. So I'm going to make sure I upload this tomorrow so that you guys can watch this before you watch the next episode. But anyway, guys, that is the end of this TV recap. Please comment down below and let me know if you agree, disagree, what you think of the other ladies in the house. Let me know if you think that maybe I was a bit too harsh on some ladies, but I honestly don't think so. I could be wrong. But yeah, guys, that is the end of this TV recap. Comment down below, let me know which other TV recaps you want to see. But that is it from your ultimate fave on the Real Housewives of Durban. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys on my next TV recap.